our black, gloss black paint looks amazing, stunning. My setup back here looks amazing. I think that this is gonna look amazing. These stand out so well right now. But I don't know if you can see really well in here, but this is the look we got. And I think the black and the red goes so good together. Hey guys, and welcome back to davidsrandr. Where in today's video, I'm bringing back a project that's been here since the beginning that I've never gotten around to, and that is my hacked up mini bike. If you've been around here for a while, you may have seen this mini bike on the channel in a short video where I said I was going to restore it, fix it, and fix all the goober gobbling stuff that they've done over here with this bike. But I haven't been able to get around to it until now. So today's video, or video, is probably going to be a two-part series. We're going to weld this thing back up. We're going to put a really nice 212 in it. We're going to build it up. We're going to put some fat power behind it. And we're going to throw a torque converter on it, a bunch of parts. It's going to be a really fun build. And this thing is going to look brand new when I'm done with it. So first things first, we got to strip this thing down. We got to get the engine out. The old engine out. It's 179cc engine, it's got to go. The clutch has got to go. We got to get it stripped down so we can sand it, weld it, paint it. And so let's get started. First things first, this engine and power plant does work, and it did work. And I rode it around for quite a while this way, but it's extremely dangerous, as you can see. There's no crossbar here. The support bar in the back is gone. The seat tabs were gone too. Mounted the old seat up, so I used the board. If my throttle was not a twist grip, it was a brake cable. Yeah, that's safe. Totally not gonna like flip off the bike because you can't steer. Yeah, and among other things. So we're just gonna overhaul this thing. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but first things first, we gotta strip it down. So cue the montage. You can also tell by the color of the shaft, it got oiled very well. I oiled this clutch every time I use it. See, you oil that needle bearing, that oil gets in here and it does its job very well. So always make sure you oil your clutches up, because if you do, it lasts a long time. That clutch is about 1.5 years old. Still runs like it's brand new. Alright, so the engine is out now. We got it unbolted, the engine is out. That engine made a lot of power. Keep that engine in mind, don't forget about that engine. Because that 179cc engine is going to go on a future build. May not be for a very long time, but it is going to go on something. And I have a really good project in mind for it. It made a lot of good power, mainly because of this gear I put in the back. I changed the gear out. I actually have it over here, the original gear that came with this thing. I didn't want this thing running 420 chain, now that it was necessary. So I ran the d.revive chain, I put a taller gear on. So with a 212 on here, went from 179 to 212cc. This thing's going to make a lot more speed, it's going to make a ton more power. And here's the other parts I'm throwing at it, which I'll get to later on when we get to the engine build. This is going to make a lot of power. It's going to be really fun, but as you can see, now that it's stripped down, there's a lot missing here. The seat tabs that came up here and mounted the seat, that's gone. The support bar going down here, that's also gone. And the crossbar is gone. So we have welding a crossbar, and support, seat support, and some mounting tabs for the seat. But aside from that, the frame's in good shape. It's not bent that bad anywhere. And everything is pretty sound. So we're gonna take this thing in to the shop. We're gonna strip it down with we're gonna wash it, sand it, and we're gonna weld it up, and then bring it to painting. So let's dive into that. Alrighty guys, so we got the frame all ground down, got all those booger welds off, and got it all nice and clean and prepped to weld. I got these pieces cut out. I have some galvanized pipe laying around, and I polished it up, got all the galvanized finishing off both ends so I can use these in welding. I cut them, and then I notched them on both ends, and yeah, those work very well. So we're gonna put these in, and we're gonna put these up and weld them in. Let's see how that goes. All right. As you can see, it's a nice and tight fit. That is very well centered. All right, and then we got this other piece. Got one. This one. This way. That. Then I want this up about there. Alrighty. I think this should go. Add it that way. That's pretty straight. Alrighty, we're gonna weld it. Actually, we're gonna weld it, but I think that it's gonna damage my camera. So we're gonna weld it, and then we're gonna get back to you guys because I don't want to ruin my camera. Alrighty guys, so we got these bars welded in. Now, don't judge me because this is one of my first few times welding, but I think for a beginner, that weld looks pretty okay. I have a really crappy, cheap Harbor Freight welder, but there's my welds up here and down here. This one, the top one, I think are my best. Which I know almost a lot of you guys in the comments are probably gonna say that I suck, but it's my first welds. I like this one a lot too. I think that this one turned out pretty good up top. I just got a little cheap MIG welder from Harbor Freight that I'm doing all this on. I really like this one. This one's my favorite, like I said. But we got some more stuff to weld in. I made some more brackets for the seat that we're gonna be welding this in, this seat bracket. So that's the next thing we're gonna be doing. Alrighty guys, so we got the seat rear mount welded up. I don't make the prettiest welds, but I think that's pretty good for my third time welding. Got that in, and made a bead over here. Got pretty good. And then I beaded it all the way down underneath on both sides and in the front too, so no one's breaking these welds today or tomorrow or anytime soon. And I welded this front one up. This one turned out a little more ugly because I had to do some gap welding, but overall it turned out all right. I'll clean those up, you won't be able to tell. But the seat the seat. Goes right on there. And voila. So, and that's what the seat's gonna look like when it's done. But so we got those on. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the Fender mounts on, and we'll be done welding pretty much once we get those welded up, and then we'll just be grinding everything down, and then we'll be able to paint this thing after we get it all done with the welding. But I feel really good about what I got. All the structural things worked really well, and this, that, and that are the most important. This is not important, neither is the Fender stuff, but everything that was important turned out well. Again, like that weld right there is probably one of my favorites of the day, and it turned out really good and smooth. There's more spatter on top of it now from this that I just welded. That's a really clean weld, and that's a pretty dang clean weld. I mean, I know I'm MIG welding, so it's really easy, but these welds are turning out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this little welder. This little titanium MIG 140. These are my settings that I have it at. So, trying to make it really a wet pool because it's just not a really strong welder. So I have it at 19 volts and 265 the amps for wire feed speed. So all these settings are inside the lids on most of these welders, but I have it cranked up a little bit higher just because of I want to make sure that I'm getting the pool wet enough so I'm not having any problems with it. But we're gonna weld on those fender mounts and we'll get back to you guys. Alrighty guys, so we got the fender mounts in. These welds weren't quite as pretty, but they'll get the job done. I'm not that good of a welder, like I said, I'm just starting out. But these are what those welds turned out like. Not, like I said, kind of crappy. They don't look good, but they're not terrible. That one had a gap weld a little bit, but it's holding and it's strong. I had like a fat gap weld in there, which is not easy, but I managed to get it done. It looks ugly as hell, but it's good. This turned out okay. This side actually turned out okay. This side was ugly, but it's strong. I don't know why there was a gap, but when I bolted it together, there was a gap there, so I had to fill that gap. And then I welded this all up underneath here too, and yeah. Anyway, she's in. Everything is welded up on this frame. We're ready to paint, right, and grind the rest of those. Some of the welds are a little bit excessive, so I like to make them nice and pretty so when I put the paint on, they don't look bad. So we'll grind our welds down, paint this thing, and then we're ready to throw some performance parts on here. I'm so excited to reveal to you guys everything else that's going on this bike, but we're gonna do it after we get this thing painted. And I think that you're gonna love how this thing looks when I'm done painting with it. It's going to be very complimentary. It's going to be nice accents. I think you're going to love the color choices, and I'm just excited. So let's get this thing ground down. Let's get painting on it. Alrighty guys, so as you can tell, this whole frame, I've grinded it down, wire brushed it down to bare metal. It's all stripped. It's ready for paint, and you can see here, I've actually done a section of primer just to see how it looks and how it's taking, and it looks so far very good. But yeah, this is the, we already grinded the other side, the top side. I grinded the top side and the bottom side. I want to start painting on the bottom side, so that way the top side, make sure it looks really good and you don't smudge it up too much. Because we're gonna have to flip this over while it's still tacky before it's dry in order to make it so that way our paint doesn't look offset because it dried at different times. So I'm gonna keep painting. It's pretty nice, I think it's pretty cool. These are aluminum shocks. You guys probably already know that if you've ever worked on a mini bike, but with the bare metal, you can really see the difference between the aluminum and the steel. But yeah, the whole thing's been stripped. It took me like 6 hours. Well, more than that, more like 7 hours or 8 hours. But it's all stripped down and we are priming. So here we go. A lot of work going into this frame on this bike, but the rest of it's going to be even funner. I'm looking forward to the engine build, which you guys I think will like a lot too. Got a lot of really cool parts we got. I want to do the big unveiling yet of everything, but it is going to be very It's not gonna be a big, like all-out performance engine, but it's gonna be a very nice performance engine that we're gonna get. Oh, that one's out. So, alright guys, we're gonna finish painting this bottom side and we'll get back to you. Alright guys, we got the whole bottom side of the mini bike spray painted with our primer, or what we're gonna use as our base primer. We're gonna let this tack up, dry, not fully cure, but tack up and dry. And then we're gonna flip this over and prime the top side. Alrighty guys, so the time has finally come to mount some new tires, which we got right here. This is another big thing that I got for this project. These are some Sunuff, nice high quality ATV tires that will work very well in this build. I mean, the only ones off was a pain in the butt. I'm gonna cut one off, which is the one that was bald and bad. But I did manage to break the bead on the other one and save it as a spare. So we have a spare, and let's get these tires cut open and get to mounting them. Now, I don't have any fancy machines or anything, so I'm going to be doing this using a technique that I've always done. And I'm going to use some grease to bead these tires. Alrighty guys, so we got a few more small pieces painted, primed and painted. This is our drum for the drum brake. The wheels are going to get painted the same color of red as that, which they're sitting over there. We gotta get them bead seated, but we got them mounted. And we got a bunch of parts, other parts painted gloss black. Probably see from the glare because of gloss, but we got our handlebar mounts and axle nuts. Try to keep the paint off the axle as much as possible. This one had rust, so I decided to paint it. But I painted our bushings and all of our other pieces here. Kickstand, painted that. The mounting bar for the brake drum. We primed and painted this, our handlebars, and the underneath mount for the fender. You probably saw these are parts for the bike, mainly for the engine parts. But yeah, we got these all painted. The frame is done too. We're just waiting for it to dry enough to bring it inside. But I'm excited to reveal that to you guys. Here's a little peek of it, sitting out there in the sun. But we'll see it here in a second when we bring it back in the shop. Anyway, this is just a little look into what we've been what I've been up to, and a little update as we progress through painting this build. I'm really excited about the engine. This is nothing. The performance stuff is sitting in some boxes over here behind these fenders and seats and stuff, because I don't want to reveal that stuff until we get there, because I really want it to be a surprise. Alrighty guys, so this is the frame inside where you can see it really good. You couldn't really see it well before, but our gloss black paint looks amazing, stunning, and it turned out really nice. We gotta polish up those fork tubes here in the center, but all that paint, that gloss black, turned out perfect. I mean, the finish is very, very smooth everywhere. Nice and flat and even finish. It's kind of that like black licorice smooth look. That rest that's just dust, but I'm saying, like, this turned out really, really nice and smooth. You can see my reflection in it. All the parts we welded in took paint well. A little bit concerned about this galvanized pipe, but it took very well to the paint. So did really everything. So this paint came out very nice. Everything took very well to it. And the paint job is very, very successful paint job. Yeah, this galvanized pipe took paint well, and it turned out nice and smooth like the rest of the frame did. So, anyway, we're gonna start mounting parts up. We're gonna start mounting these parts we have painted. I don't have my tires done yet, sadly. A few things I had to get. I tried beating my tires with grease, because I've done that in the past. Did not work. So we're gonna end up using a bead blaster and trying to blast them on. I'm not gonna record that. It's a pain in the butt. It takes forever, and I've already spent hours on it. So we're just gonna try to get those tires beaded so we can paint them. But we got this. These have been dry for a while, and we also have this painted. And this paint's cured now, so you can see the final look of it. It's very nice. So I'm gonna get my tripod set up again, and we're gonna start mounting parts on the bike. All right, so we're gonna start putting parts on this bike. Like I said, we don't have tires ready yet, and I'm really kind of at a standstill until after this when I start doing the engine build. But I don't have parts for the engine build. I don't have all my parts for the engine build, so kind of at a standstill right now. I don't have a lot of time to work on this. Where I do work at is like my grandma's place. This is where I have like my shop, all my tools at. I only come out here on the weekends, so I really just need to get something done. So although it's not ideal, I'd rather put the wheels on first, then put everything else on. I'm gonna start mounting parts and blowing them up. So let's just get into it. So first things first, got our handlebars that we just finished painting, and mount these up. I think we get these loosely started, and I think we mount the seat up next and see what I think based off the seat where I want my handlebars to be at. All right, handlebars are on, and they look amazing. So next thing I'm gonna finish mounting the seat up real quick. Put on the kickstand. Kickstand's on. So next thing I'm gonna do is put on this headlight that I cleaned up and restored for this bike. It came with it when I bought it, but it never worked. And I kind of wired it up my own way. Actually, I'm gonna hold off on the headlight, I think. I wanna do a little bit of work on it. I wanna solder some stuff. Let's see, what else can I put on? I could put that on. I could put a lot of things on, but I don't have. Until I have the wheels on, I can't put on this bracket. If this bracket connects the brake drum, I can't put that on until I get the tires done. And I can't put the axles in, which I painted the ends of. This doesn't matter. There's some paint on this, but that'll get rubbed off. And it's only on the important parts. But all those got done. I could mount the fenders, but I think I want to do a little bit of paint work on them, make them look better because they're kind of dull. So I don't really know what else I can do right now. I could put on one grip, or like the brake cable and stuff like that. Have some on-off switches I could put on. A couple on-off switches here. One's going to be for the lights, obviously, and the other one's going to be for the ignition. We have our brake lever. I'll mount that, and our grip. All right, guys. So I made the executive decision to suspend what I was working on right there, and I'm gonna take you off this tripod here for a second. By the way, this looks phenomenal, I think. You guys can't really see until I show you up close what's going on here, but my setup back here looks amazing. We got a on-off switch, red grips. The red grips look amazing on here. Throttle. We got our bars on, our blocks on, our shiny galvanized hardware on. Anyway, this looks really sick, really crisp. But what I decided to do is, these fenders were kind of faded red, and one of them had a bunch of weld spark marks on it, and it was just really off red. So I painted them with that high gloss red. And I think that this is going to look amazing. These stand out so well right now, and they're so glossy. Those are going to be really nice. I'm just going to let them dry overnight and put them on tomorrow. Yeah, we're just using some Rust-Oleum gloss red. Looks really good. Looks very nice, as you can see on the other parts as well. We have a bunch of performance parts thrown on the engine, but we can't do the engine build until we get these tires on and we get the final parts for the engine, which is some billet parts. I can't really tell you everything because then it'd spoil you. But yeah, we got the seat on, kickstand on down there. The frame looks so nice. Everything looks so nice. So anyway, I'm gonna stop wasting my time out here tonight. I'm gonna come back at you guys in the morning with hopefully tires mounted and ready to paint. So anyway, see you guys tomorrow in the morning. Yeah, I'm kind of bummed about not being able to get those tires on tonight, but hey, that's why it's a project. You're gonna have some ups and downs. You're gonna have some things you have to overcome, and this is just one of them. So anyway, see you guys in the morning. And good morning to all of you. We painted a bunch of plastic parts last night. This is that torque converter cover, and it's fenders. We painted everything last night. All that paint is nice and dry and hard now, so we're gonna install these fenders on the bike, and then try to get these tires beaded this morning. So let's get into it. All right, so front fender. I think this turned out really, really nice. That gloss red matches that perfect. And we've also got the backing plate that we painted, and the 3 bolts, which I also painted. Yeah, and as you can see, guys, I got the headlight figured out last night. I got it all wired up. I'm gonna tuck all this away, and I might wire in a rear taillight, but got it all cleaned up and working. So it's mocked. Let's tighten it down, but that looks so sick. I love it. So here's our rear fender. Gonna be putting that in. Sweet. Rear fender is all the way in. Alright, sweet. So both of our fenders are completely in, and they look amazing. I don't know how well you guys can see them from where you are at, but take you off the tripod here. These fenders look amazing on here. That red and black, nice, really nice accents and complements of color. But yeah, well, we're gonna try to see if we can do some other little things here and there until we can really work on our tires. But that's the one thing holding us back right now. That and a few parts for the engine that will be coming later this week. But we'll get back to you guys once we get our tires mounted. Well, they're already mounted, but beaded. Alrighty, guys. So this is actually the next weekend. We got these tires mounted, and we got the rims painted. And I took all the tape off and cleaned all the paint off the tires. So this is the finished product of these rims and tires. They're all mounted. Got the Sun Fs on, all mounted and really nice looking. And here's the other side. And I made sure to put tape over the main surface of the brakes, but I wanted to paint this back here because it was rusting, and so was a slip here, but I made sure to tape over that and tape over my valve stems. Anyway, I think that's the rear, looking really nice and looks brand new. And here's the front. Anyway, yeah, these look brand new. I painted over that one by mistake, that bearing, but that's okay. And these look brand spanking new. And they look really good. The paint turned out perfect. The tape turned out good. It did a good job. And the tires mounted up well. That bead blaster that I got works really well. I'd put it back up here on the shelf. It's way up. Way up there. I put it back in the packaging so that way nothing crawls into it like bugs. But yeah, that's the bead blaster I used. Got it off Amazon for like half the price of the big box store ones. The box store ones are like $150 or higher, $150, $170, and I got that one for $71 or $72, and it works just the same, and it works great. So we're gonna get these tires and rims mounted up on the bike, so we'll have a rolling chassis, and I'm really excited because this is gonna look amazing. Even enough for now. All right, so rear wheel is on. Now we're gonna put the front in. Whatever, that's good enough. It ain't perfect, but it's good enough. And I just don't know why, but the axle doesn't want to go perfect. But who needs perfect? It's really good, actually. And I'm gonna wipe off all the grease on this thing, but we got a rolling chassis now. Alrighty guys, so we got our tires and rims on, and I got my brake installed in the back, brake cable and everything, and my brake works. So yeah, we got a rolling chassis that stops and rolls and stuff. So I think that's where we're gonna end part one, guys. I don't know what y'all think, but this looks absolutely stunning so far. And I don't know about you, but I'm really interested. I'm wanting to work harder and harder on this thing, but just too many. I've done too much, and if I went any more, then I'd have to chop it all up, and it wouldn't look good. So we're just gonna end it off here. This is the end of part one. I hope you guys are enjoying the minibike and how far we've came so far. We've done a lot in episode one, part one. Part two, we're gonna be building a performance Predator 212 engine for this thing. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be completing a really sweet battery box that I've been making out of a license plate over here. We're going to finish this up, make it all nice and shiny and pretty. Yeah, so if you are interested in that, stay tuned for part two. This is David signing out. Hope you enjoy this first part and you're enjoying this build, and I will see you next time. Peace.